Hi there, my name is Pat Michelli. I'm from Denver, Colorado, and I'm going to kind of go through how to install a Mustang 2 crossmember setup on a 1953 Chevy 150 Businessman coupe, although this same setup will work on a 49 to 54 Chevrolet frame. This kit happens to be a Helix brand, I guess. I picked this up in a trade, the whole car and all, and it came with this crossmember setup. So I went ahead and I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead and put it in here, and I'm going to do a little video because I couldn't find anything on YouTube or anything like that on how to install one of these. So I decided to go ahead and do it for everyone to enjoy, hopefully. Okay, so we're going to start here with the kit itself. I've got it all mocked up here the way that I want it to set. I've got a lot of finish welding to do. I have not even welded this in at all, but I'm going to go ahead and go through some measurements for this setup. So in the instruction manual, they want you to have a measurement from the middle of this hole here back 16 inches, and that'll establish your axle center line or spindle center line. So I went ahead and did that, and I didn't like the way that that's set. I just wanted it up about 3/8 of an inch, so I went ahead and moved that forward about 3/8 just so that the wheel and tires will sit in the wheel well a little bit better for me. So that was my preference. You can all do whatever you like as far as that goes. So once I established that, I got the crossmember set in there. Had to make a bunch of cuts on it to get it up higher than what they originally wanted you to mount it at. Originally they want you to mount this crossmember at 3.5 inches between the A-arm pivot bolt middle and the top of the frame here. So in other words, from the bolt hole up to this top of the frame, if you measure that now, I'm right at 2 inches instead of 3.5. So I have actually brought that car up, you know, another, or actually not up, down. I've dropped it another 1.5 inches on that deal there. So in order to do that, bringing that up, I had to notch the frame side here for the power rack and pinion steering. So I went ahead and notched this so that had clearance through here by raising up this cross member. That also raised up the power steering rack, so I had to make clearance for that. So that pretty much takes care of setting up that cross member there. You know, you have to notch and cut and practice, you know, and just take your time. Make a bunch of cuts if you have to. I know this metal is very thick and it's very difficult to cut, but if you take your time and get it set up right, you'll be happy in the end. A little extra time in this section will really pay its dividends after you have it all set up. You'll really like the results. As far as the top hat goes, these are made to be set at a 3-degree angle, so the back needs to be lower than the front. So the front on this, I notched it 1 inch here to the side of the frame, and then 1 5/8 inches deep. Okay, so that 1 5/8 transfers to the other side because you want that thing to sit in there nice and straight. So we got 1 5/8 here, but over here we have 1 1/8. So that gives you that 3-degree kickback on that top hat, which sets your steering up, your bump steer and everything else correctly. So I've leveled my A-arms, and in order to get these measurements, the way you do it is you have to measure from this top flat surface down to the A-arm center. The front one, they want you to have 9.5 inches between the top flat of the top hat and the center of the A-arm. And the back one, the instructions say that you need to have 8 3/4, I believe, is what they want you to have. So from the top of this to the center of that A-arm there, 8 3/4 inches is what you need. And that makes sure that you have your geometry correct for your pump steer. Otherwise, the notching into the frame here, you can see that the frame needed to be notched here. I kind of messed up a cut here, but we're going to go ahead and fill that with weld. It should be just fine. This crossmember kit, it was actually really long and deep, so I had to cut a lot of metal out of there to get that crossmember to tuck up where I wanted it to tuck, to give me that that ride height that I wanted. It's very important to level the frame out first. Level it, you know, front to back, side to side. Level your crossmember front to back, side to side. So you want it level here and you want it level here. You know, front to back, side to side on that. Before you do any welding, you got to double check all the surfaces. What I'm going to end up doing here is I'm going to cut these ears off. These were extra metal that were included into this crossmember kit. These are going to end up getting cut right at this line, and then I'll be welding, you know, all the way around this, all the way down underneath, welding the top hats here on the outside, also on the inside, both sides. Put a gusset in the back, weld that to the frame, and I'm going to go ahead and gusset this angle and continue it all the way down to that frame edge, and just go ahead and, or even maybe this frame edge here, I don't know, and get a good weld on both sides, front and back. So I'm gonna have to do 4 like gussets there. Shouldn't be too big of a problem. Otherwise, you know, it's set up pretty nice. I think it's gonna work out real good. It'll set my front radiator mount about 12 inches off the ground. I'd really like to have 10, but I'm not going to be able to do it with this setup. It's going to be about 12, but if I put airbags in here, I'll be able to lower that down to the ground if I want to. In the back, I've got a triangulated 4-link that I've got to weld in also, and this should be a pretty cool car when it's done. Again, my name is Pat. I'm from Denver, and thank you so much for watching.